Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sui Generis, where we are going to try to demystify some components that have to do with research. Research becomes a very interesting subject because many people have excelled in life. Fundamentally, everything that we do or enjoy in life has generated because of research. So, what is research? Research basically refers to a systematic and organized investigation, usually conducted by scholars and scientists, for example, or even researchers in various academic disciplines. And this is intended to expand knowledge and even explore new ideas. So, and even answer questions and also contribute to the understanding of specific topics or even fields of study. So we're going to try to understand some of the components that academic research would entail. And at the end of this, discussion, you'll probably comprehend different research tools that you may not know that probably would help you, excel in your academic research or even book writing or even journal, whatever kind of writing you may probably want to engage in or study for that purpose, whether it's undergraduate or even master's or even PhD or even certificate for that purpose. So one of the things you research is to engage in research, you must have a purpose. In other words, the primary purpose of academic research is to generate new knowledge or to build upon what they call existing knowledge within a specific area of study. So it basically aims to address research questions or what other people want to call hypotheses. So we shall understand that as we continue. Another important aspect as you engage in research is what they call methodology. Under methodology, usually what happens is that academic research follows a structured and usually a rigorous methodology, which may include what they call data collection, in terms of also analysis and in terms of also experimentation and surveys and also literature review and other research techniques. We shall get there as we proceed. Other important aspects you need to do when you engage in research, especially for some of you who want to do publications, at Sui Generis we pride ourselves in probably coming to about 50 books now. It's not because of anything, but because it's something we do and we engage in heavily. And also, you need to understand that when you do research, especially those of you who want to publish, you have to have what they call peer review. Peer review helps you to ensure quality and reliability. And what is peer review? Basically, in academic research, often undergoes what they call peer review, where experts in the field evaluate the research methods. For example, they also evaluate your findings and also conclusions, usually before you actually make a publication. So that's the importance of peer review. It's not very common here in Africa because not very many people like reading. Some of us have written very big books, so when you get a book like, for example, Objection, My Lord, or perhaps Oil and Gas, or even Constitutional Law, the one that we did on demystifying the Fountain of Honor, you may not easily find people who can easily go through, probably take them a long time, but that's something debatable and important. Publication basically helps you to engage in terms of publishing your articles or your books in academic journals, making them accessible for purposes of broader academic community and the public. And then citation is extremely important. When you're doing research, you need to know how to cite. I'll explain some of popular methods of citation. So researchers frequently ask questions in terms of existing research to support their arguments, and they validate their findings and acknowledge their work so that you can avoid what they call plagiarism. So that's something that's a danger in academic world. We hate, or we shouldn't actually come close to plagiarism. And another thing that is important in research is what they call objectivity and unbiasedness. Even as you engage in your research, your academic research aims to be objective and should be unbiased. In other words, you should rely on evidence and data rather than on personal opinions or beliefs. So that's something that's extremely important. And then contribution is another thing that you need to evaluate and find out. How does this research contribute? It contributes in terms of an advancement of knowledge. Does it help you in terms of a particular field? Does it help you address a gap in terms of understanding? So it often has practical applications in terms of various domains. So even as you engage in research, that is something that is extremely important to do. Another thing that you need to look out for is what they call ethical considerations. When you engage in research, you should be mindful of what they call ethical principles and guidelines which govern what they call academic research. These help you ensure the protection of human subjects, for example, and also what they call data integrity and also responsible conduct. So that's another thing that you need to look out for. Another thing you need to look out for, those of you who want to engage in research, is what they call interdisciplinary. Research often crosses what they call interdisciplinary boundaries. In other words, encouraging collaboration and the integration of knowledge from multiple fields. So that is important. it's a nexus that we have to do with other, fields. So there's no what? There's no isolated research. We have that aspect of interdisciplinary interaction because it helps you to benchmark and also comprehend other areas of study. So academic research is basically a cornerstone in most higher education. By the way, if you go to Wibometrics, the way of ranking, you can only be ranked depending on how exhaustive or how dominant your research may be or how helpful your research may be. So when you see other universities doing better than others in terms of Wibometrics, in terms of placement, in terms of rankings, it's because they've engaged in substantive research, and their research has made a substantive effect in terms of affecting the humanity for that purpose. So research is rigorous, yes, but it also helps intellectual curiosity in terms of pursuit of knowledge for the betterment of our society. Some other reasons that we need to look at in terms of research. Number one, we need to understand that research helps you in terms of advancing knowledge. In other words, it contributes to the expansion of human understanding in various fields. It also helps in pushing, for example, the boundaries of what we know and helping us to discover new insights. So without research, you are almost as good as dead, because you will not be able to understand and comprehend and understand that this world transgress or moves from one position to another. Research helps in terms of innovation and progress. In terms of academic research, it drives what they call innovation by generating what they call new ideas, technologies, and also solutions that can benefit society and improve the quality of life and address what they call pressing challenges. Another aspect in terms of research, it is a problem solver. It helps to solve complex problems by providing what they call evidence-based solutions and informing decisions and making, for example, decisions in areas such as healthcare or even economics and in terms of even policy development. So that is the importance of research. Another advantage in terms of research is it helps you in terms of education and learning. Something that's especially for those of you who are teaching in universities or even engaging in academic or higher institutions of learning. Education and learning, it helps in terms of it becomes an integral part of education, providing students with what they call opportunities to learn critical thinking and problem solving in terms of research skills. And that's extremely important. I'm happy to note that many universities are pulling this off in terms of engaging in research by way of dissertations and theses, even in master's level, even in PhD, even at other postgraduate institutions where people are now engaging in research. Research also, as another advantage, helps in what they call economic growth. Research can lead to the development of what they call new industries, okay, in terms of products, in terms of services, in terms of contributing to economic growth, and also in terms of what they call job creation. So, I have so many people I can mention who have actually earned, quite a lot in terms of engaging in research. We have quite a number of good research centers here in this country, in Uganda, and so that helps you to understand that many people thrive on research, and therefore it becomes a job creation in its own sense. Research is also helpful in terms that it creates what they call evidence-based policy. In other words, policymakers rely on what they call academic research to make informed decisions that can have a significant impact on society. That's extremely important. It's also in terms of quality assurance. Research also often involves rigorous peer review, as I told you, ensuring what they call the accuracy and the reliability of information that forms the basis of future studies and applications. So that's in terms of engaging or assuring what they call quality assurance. Research also becomes extremely important because it also helps in what they call cultural and societal understandings, in terms of promoting what they call cultural and societal understandings. It helps us to explore and understand the complexities of culture and society, and also what they call human behavior in terms of promoting empathy and tolerance. So that's another advantage of research. In summary, what is important is that academic research basically plays a crucial role in advancing what they call human knowledge, fostering innovation, solving problems, and also improving various aspects of our lives and society. So I'm going to take you through some of the tools that you need to understand that probably we also use here at Sui Generis, where we pride ourselves having been some of the guys who won what they call the best legal tech in Africa by the names of Isaac Christopher Lubogo. But some of the tools that you need to look out for when you're engaging in research, which many people do not know, I'm going to go through one by one so that you can understand. One is what they call Mendeley. Mendeley is a reference management software that helps researchers. And this is a software that is easily available. So when you look at Mendeley, Mendeley is a reference management software that helps researchers to organize and annotate and cite their research papers. Remember this. And it allows users to create what they call personal libraries and highlight and annotate documents and collaborate them with others. And it also generates citations, by the way, and also bibliographies in terms of various citation styles. So think about that. Mendeley is number one. Number two, there's also another interesting one, which they call Trinker. Many people are ignorant of Trinker. Trinker is also what they call a language enhancement tool, which is designed to improve the quality and the clarity of academic writing. And what Trinker does is that it offers what they call suggestions, for example, to enhance what they call sentence structure. So you are constructing a sentence, and it gives you suggestion that perhaps this is the way you should go. It also helps you in your grammar and also language usage in terms of research papers and also scholarly documents. By the way, this is not intended to substitute traditional academics, but we must understand that the world is progressing and we need to comprehend and appreciate some of these tools. Another academic research tool is what they call Notion. Notion is in what they call a one-stop workplace that actually combines what they call note-taking, for example, task management, and also collaboration of features. It is popular usually among what they call researchers for creating and organizing notes. Incredible software. It also helps in research databases, to-do lists, and also collaborative documents in terms of collaboration of documents. So look out for that one as well. Another important research tool is what they call Scholastic. Scholastic is another one. Scholastic is a tool that automatically summarizes research papers. So you got your research paper here and you put it in that software, it will simply summarize it for you. So Scholastic will summarize your paper, making it easier for you, or if you're a researcher, to quickly grasp the main points in the paper. So you're going for a symposium or you're going for a conference, and here is a big research paper. You put it in it, it will simply raise the points for you and also extract the key figures or references that help you to cite your generation. So that's another important aspect. Another research tool that many people may not be aware is what they call Connected Papers. Now, Connected Papers is basically a visualization tool that assists researchers in exploring the connection between academic papers. It also creates visual maps, for example. It also shows how papers are related through citations and also helps researchers to find the relevant literature. Think about all that. Now, almost all these things are really available and many people are ignorant. So here at Sui Generis Law App, or even at Sui Generis, we pride ourselves in helping people discover some of these tools. Another is what they call Paper Digest. Now, Paper Digest is a platform that provides summaries of recent research papers in various fields. Think about that. It actually helps researchers to stay updated with the latest advancement without even having to read every paper in detail. Think about that. Now, I'm making it easier for you because we promised ourselves that we're going to help mankind to become better in terms of research. Now, another aspect, another tool that is extremely helpful is what they call Writeful. Writeful is another writing enhancement tool tailored for scientific and even technical writing. What Writeful does, it suggests improvements for sentence structure, for example, even word choice and grammar to enhance the clarity and readability of any research document that you're actually engaging. So look for Writeful. Listen, we're not yet done. There's another interesting one, which is a favorite also. There's what they call PaperPal. Think about that. You think about PayPal. Now I'm talking about PaperPal. PaperPal is actually an AI-powered tool that actually offers language editing and what they call proofreading services for academic writing. So you simply look for PaperPal. PaperPal will help you as a researcher to improve your quality in terms of your manuscript by suggesting corrections of grammar, style, and even syntax. So you need to understand that that's another important tool. I'm going to give you another one. Another one is what they call BioReader. BioRender. Some people call it BioRender, but you can also call it BioReader for personal pronunciation. Now, what BioRender does, BioRender is a tool specifically designed for creating what they call scientific illustrations and diagrams. It is useful for researchers in, for example, life sciences to create visual representations of, for example, biological processes or what they call molecular or structural and even any other. So that's another aspect that you need to comprehend. Now, we've also got another one that is interesting that again, many people may not comprehend. It's called Academic Phrase Bank. Think about that. Now, what Academic Phrase Bank does, it's a resource tool that provides examples of common phrases and sentences that are used in academic writing, which reminds me of what we are doing. We're now doing a book called The Gospel according to Sui Generis, where we're going to write a book that has to do with scriptures, not scriptures, but quotations that will help you in terms of day-to-day amenities in terms of how to thrive. They will motivate you, they encourage you, but that's another discussion for another day. So what this does is it assists you as a researcher in terms of expressing your idea clearly and appropriately in terms of the research paper. Now, listen, I'm going to give you another one. Another one is called Canva. Canva is another versatile graphic design tool that usually researchers can actually use to create what they call visual content for presentations, for posters, for even infographics, and also for what they call social media. It's usually very handy in the sense that it helps in terms of enhancing your what they call visuality, in terms of conveying your research findings. So those tools that I've been talking about are extremely important. I'm not even going to talk about ChatGPT. That will be debate for another day. That is another one that probably some people are having problem with today. But I will encourage them to go and watch movies like iRobots, or even watch movies like Better Than Us. You know, this is the world that we're going in. Recently, I was traveling across Europe, and I got to see how robotics is affecting our day-to-day. I had a discussion with a professor, Professor Golling, in Germany, and we're having a debate in terms of interaction of what they can do, what Africa or Uganda can do. And I said, right now, with robotics and AI, it's almost impossible to make a difference, in the sense that what Africa can do, Europe can do almost at the same standard. So guys, this is something that's extremely important. Now, let's labor to go into some of the things in terms of what they call referencing, referencing styles, right? So the referencing style will help you in terms of how do you reference your documents or perhaps your academic works. Now, the most popular one in terms of referencing is what they call APA. Now, APA is basically what they call the American Psychological Association style. And APA, in terms of relevancy, it's commonly used in social sciences and psychology. I know it's a favorite of many high education institutes. It emphasizes clarity in terms of conciseness in writing. It also makes it suitable for research in the sense that it involves complex data and also statistics. In terms of importance, APA helps maintain consistency in your academic writing. In other words, it helps you, it makes it easier for you, or even for any reader for that purpose, to locate or even verify a source. So it provides guidelines in terms of formatting, for example, in terms of citation, and in terms of referencing, and in terms of manuscripts. I'll give an example. If I'm using APA, for example, I can use the name Lubogo and Isaac, for example, or Isaac and Christopher, and say 2023, in terms of referencing as an entry. And then I can say Lubogo and Isaac 2022 in brackets, and then I put the title of the article, okay, depending on what title. And then I also put maybe journal for law or journal for psychology, and then perhaps the journal specifically, because journals are also referenced using specific identification tags anyway. Now, another that is important is what they call modern language association as a referencing style. Some people call it MLA. Now, what is the relevance of MLA? MLA is commonly used in humanities. And when I talk about humanities, you know, we talk about literature, for example, and languages, including law, for example. It also focuses on authorship and publication in terms of details, and it is suitable in terms of analyzing literacy works and also citing sources in those humanities, as it were. In terms of importance, MLA as an important style provides what they call a standardized way of, in terms of acknowledging resources in terms of academic papers and also essays and also research projects in humanities as a discipline. In terms of example, I could give an example again, probably Isaac, and put the year of publication, and then indicate the title of the book, and then the publisher, and then also the year in which that publication was actually made. Now, another popular citing tool is what they call Chicago. Now, Chicago manual style, in terms of relevancy, Chicago offers basically two formats, in terms of notes and also in terms of bibliography. Now, it's usually used in humanities. It's very popular with humanities. And so you talk about the author, for example, and the date when it comes to sciences, and it's flexible in a sense that it's commonly used in history and arts and also social sciences. If you're talking about importance, Chicago as a referencing style allows for what they call comprehensive citation and referencing in terms of various sources or types, including books and articles and what they call archival materials. It's also known for its extensive notes and bibliographies, which provide what they call rich contextual information. I would love to give examples in terms of a practical document, maybe, so I'm just figuring out, using my mind, how best I can explain some of those different, referencing styles in terms of how they could look like. But what is important for you to have a general understanding of the different referencing styles. So Chicago, don't forget, in terms of a name, Isaac Lubogo, for example, you put the title and then the publishing company or press for that purpose, and then the year at the end of the day. So each of those different citation or citation styles for that purpose serves a specific purpose, and depending on the audience that probably you want. Now, some universities may be biased. I know some universities that prefer APA, for example, others Chicago, others want Harvard. I'll talk about Harvard shortly. Others want other methods, that maybe Oxford or Scholar for that purpose. I'm going to talk about those shortly. So that's extremely important. So choosing an appropriate style will help you in terms of advocating for your study, depending on how they have advised you, okay, or whatever university is biased with, or whatever institution, or whatever your publisher. But accurate citation becomes extremely important. Referencing as an enhancement in terms of enforcing or enabling credibility and professionalism becomes extremely important, and also making it easy for others to assess and build upon your work. So that's extremely important. Now, let me talk about another favorite one that they call Harvard style, as another referencing style. Now, the relevance of Harvard is that Harvard basically uses the author in terms of the date, in-text citation. Sometimes they call it in-text citation. It's versatile in a sense that it is used in various disciplines, and it's particularly popular in business and economics and also natural sciences. In terms of importance, Harvard is important because it emphasizes the integration of sources or information into what they call text, making it accessible, and it's also straightforward for readers to identify in terms of resources and also verify the claims. For example, if you talk about in-text, you simply say Lubogo 2022 or Lubogo 2023. And then, of course, you give the title and then they publish the book, or of course the title and then the publisher, as it were. So that's also important. Perhaps it's my favorite, because it's easy and can easily be, tracked for purposes of verifying whatever the author is talking about. Another other than Harvard, another referencing style would be what they call the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineering style. Other people call it IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering style. One thing you must understand, that I think you've noticed systematically that almost every reference style has a name: Chicago, Harvard, blah blah blah, depending on APA, depending on what institute or what society, if I may use that word, society in quotes, came up with the best way of trying to comprehend their material, their academic material or research material. So it's something that they developed and liked it, and then built it over and sold it over in terms of exposing it to the bigger world. So the IEEE is primarily used in terms of engineering, computer sciences, and also related fields. It focuses basically on numeric citations, for example, and it's well suited for research involving technical documents and also scientific articles, as it were. So in terms of importance, the IEEE ensures what they call technical and scientific information, and it's usually cited accurately, and it helps in terms of consistency and also facilitating what they call corroboration and reproducibility in terms of these fields. I may want to give an example, but again, lots of words may fail me in the sense that the best way you probably look at the document, but let me try my best. So you may want to use in-text citation, for example, but you have to use what they call a reference list entry. In other words, you may say J.K. Lubogo, for example, as the author, and then the title of the article, and then the title of the journal, for example, and then the volume, and then the number, and then the year, and then the page. And then, those details come in like that. Now, another referencing style too that is extremely important that you may need to understand when you're engaging in research is what they call Vancouver style. Now, in terms of relevancy, again, Vancouver, because probably it originated in Vancouver, but in terms of relevancy, Vancouver style is commonly used in what they call biomedical and health sciences. And it emphasizes numbered citations within the text, and it's well suited when it comes to research involving medical literature, for example. Okay, so those of you who are probably in the medical field, you may want to engage in. In terms of importance, Vancouver style promotes clear and concise citation for medical and scientific resources, which is also crucial in terms of healthcare and professional and researchers in different fields, as it were. In terms of an example, again, you want to talk about the author, the title as well, and then the title of the journal, the year, the volume, the issue, and the page, and the numbers, as it were. So that is the format in which it goes. Another interesting one, again, in terms of style, is what they call the American Medical Association as a style, which some people call AMA. In terms of relevancy, the AMA style is specifically designed for medical and biomedical research. Excuse me. And it provides basically guidelines in terms of citing resources in medical journals and also research papers for clinical purposes. In terms of importance, the MAA basically ensures accuracy, consistency in terms of citation, and also for basically medical and healthcare, as I said. Excuse me, I'm talking a little bit fast because I want to make sure that I cover as much as possible within this particular discourse for purposes of comprehending and understanding what we're talking about. So, an example for this one, for the AMA style, is you give your name, for example, Isaac Lubogo, and then maybe, and others, Ital, some people call it Ital, and others, if there are other people that, joint authors with you, and then the title of the article, and then the journal that we're talking about, maybe Journal of Medicine or maybe Journal of Law, and then the year, and then the volume, and then the issues. Sometimes volumes have issues, and then the page numbers, as it were. So when you are selecting your citation style, it basically depends on your academic discipline. That's something you must understand, and the type of research that you are actually conducting in terms of the specific requirement for your publication, or even the institution that you are actually submitting your paper. Some institutions are extremely hard, if I may use that word, because they want you to cite accurately and use their referencing guidelines, okay? So that's extremely important for you. So in terms of accuracy, in terms of consistency, in terms of fundamentality to the scholarly communication that you intend to pass over. So it basically allows you to have what they call proper attribution of ideas in terms of the research and findings, as it were. So that is extremely important. Another referencing style that comes to mind is what they call the ACS, which is American Chemical Society style. And now, this is another interesting one. Interesting, many of the things that come from America, perhaps because, I don't know, maybe because they are more versatile or perhaps more flexible in terms of intellectual debates or stuff like that. But the SCS is widely used in the field of chemistry, again. Now, this is a little bit chemistry now. It provides for guidelines, for example, for citing what they call chemical literature in terms of research and articles, and also laboratory reports. In terms of importance, the SCS basically as a style ensures that chemical research is conducted with precision in terms of facilitating what they call the replication of experiments and the exchange of information among the chemists. So an example, again, you may want to talk about Lubogo, Ital, meaning and others, or perhaps Jonathan or Chakulaga or whatever, in terms of the title of the article, in terms of the journal, if you talk about Journal of Chemical Education, for example, and then the year, and then the volume, and then the page number. So that's extremely important. I think we talked about a little bit, the favorite one for Macquarie, I think, is APA, which is American Psychological Association, which I think many jurisdictions, many universities probably use it. But you may want to look out for APA. It has editions, by the way. If you talk about particularly the 7th edition, in terms of relevancy, it's basically in terms of traditional use in psychology. But the 7th edition of APA is now more flexible in terms of applicability for various social sciences and also education. Now, APA, I know I talked about it earlier, but for purposes of emphasis, because now it came in terms of the edition, provides what they call a common framework for research communication in the social sciences, and it makes it easy for researchers and students in these fields to follow what they call uniform citation and formatting guidelines. Okay, an example in terms of in-text citation, Lubogo and others, 2023, and then you put the reference list entry. Okay, Lubogo perhaps IC, maybe Jonathan, maybe XY, and then the title of the article, and then the journal of the social, maybe social psychology or social or legal psychology, depending on what you're arguing or what you're talking about, what you're citing. And then obviously the pages also would be reflected in that way. Now, another important referencing style is what they call the Turabian, Now, Turabian, in terms of relevancy, it's basically often used in history, in terms of theology, history, and also some humanities as a discipline. And therefore it helps you also for you to understand that it's a referencing guide or referencing style that is often used for purposes of referencing. Another that comes off head that is popular with lawyers is a scholar, obviously. A scholar becomes extremely important because it's basically used for the lawyers in terms of referencing. Now, time may not allow for me to go through all them in terms of breaking it down for you, but in this discourse, we have been able to understand and appreciate the different types of referencing that we have all across, and why research becomes extremely important for us today and tomorrow. And many of the people who have made makes in terms of history, in terms of discoveries, in terms of research, have done that. Why? Because they have gone and broken the ice. They have gone and broken, what they call uncharted waters. They have been able to go into these novel situations and conquer and be able to help us thrive and enjoy the world that we're in today. And that's what we do here at Sui Generis. We believe in what the great Bernard Shaw one time said, that most men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that are not and ask why not. So blessings again from Sui Generis. Please go and find some of our works at suigenerislawup.com. Go and visit our website at lubogo.org. Find some of the best books in the world right now, ground law breaking books, and even go to Play Store. Go to Play Store, use your phone, Android, go to Play Store and look out for Sui Generis Law App. Put it on your phone, engage it free of charge. There are two of the kind. One I did when I was another jurisdiction in terms of one of my alma mater, and the other I did when I was another university. So, but they help you to understand and comprehend some of the things. When if you're using what they call iOS, these the Apple-like gadgets, you may simply go to the website. Simply go to the website and put in suigenerislawup.com and visit our website at lubogo.org and find our books on almost all repositories. Go to Makerere University Repository, Nkumba University, UCU, IUIU, KIU, UMI, Nkosi, name any substantive university in this country. You find all our materials there and you'll be blessed. So greetings once again. My name is Isaac Christopher Lubogo, and I greet you and I salute you with the words of the Lord. Vox Populi, Vox Dei. God bless you.